like to show you a mystery where a gentleman will merely think of a card, and I will magically find it. I happen to have a deck of cards on the table. I'm going to deal them into 3 rows of cards. The gentleman here, if you would, as you look at the cards on the table, I'd like you to think of any one of these cards. Think of any one of those cards, and just if you would, gesture which row it's in. The card you are thinking of is in that row. In fact, I will turn away so I can't see and just point out the card to our friends at home so they can see what the card is. I promise not to peek. Excellent. You've done that? Very good, very good. I'm going to deal these cards out again onto the table. And I would like you to once again look at the rows and just think of where your card happens to be. You see your card out there? You do. Excellent. Which row does it happen to be in? Ah, down in this row. One of these cards is a card you are merely thinking of. Excellent. I'll deal them out one more time for the psychic forces to truly kick in. As you scan across these cards looking for your card, allow the psychic center of your brain to reach out and tell me what the card is you are thinking of. In fact, which row is it in? It's in the center row this time. Concentrate on your card, if you would. I get the very strongest impression you are definitely thinking of a red card, correct? Right. In fact, I do get the strongest impression that it is a red number card, in fact. In fact, I do believe it is somewhere right here. It is not that one. I do believe you chose the 3 of diamonds.
Yep.
How about that? Psychic powers are with us today. Well, this is the 21 card trick, or as it's sometimes known, the trick that uses 3 rows of 7. The deck is in a random order. It does not matter. There is no preparation when it comes to the order of these cards. You will now deal 21 cards into 3 rows of 7. Like this, going from left to right, across, until you have 3 rows. That's 4, 5, 6, and now 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in each row. Once you have the cards dealt out like this, you are going to ask your audience to remember any one of these cards. Now, here's the key to how this works. It does not matter what card they remember in any one of these 3 rows. The key is this. Just for the sake of this explanation, let's say they remember and are thinking of the Ace of Hearts. You would merely ask them, which row, don't tell me the card, but which row are you thinking of a card in? Your audience would then point to this row. You now take the cards, squaring them up, and all you have to do is make sure that this pile goes in between these 2. In other words, you would pick them up like that. So now it's in the middle. Turn the piles over and deal once again 3 rows of 7. This is a mathematical mystery in exactly how it works. As you are dealing the cards out once again, you ask your audience to look for their selected card. And if you would, just merely tell me which row it's in. Of course, your audience, and it just happens to be, once again, in this row, for the sake of this demonstration, the Ace of Hearts. Once again, you would merely proceed in the same fashion. For example, let's say if their card happened to be over here, and it very well could be, you would proceed as I mentioned moments ago. You pick the cards up like this, making sure that their group of cards is in the middle. You need to, for the mathematical principle to work, deal the cards out one more time. Upon the third time that you deal these cards, you are going to know which card it is once they point out the row. And of course, they are going to point out the middle row. Mathematically, it just works out that the selected card will be fourth down from the top. That will be the ace of hearts. You can now proceed in a couple of different ways to produce the card. You can ask them, which row does your card happen to be in? They now point to this row. You instantly know which one it is. You now square these up. The card will now be 11 cards down from the top. You can do it as follows if you like. You can deal 1, 2, 3, counting to yourself, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, as if you were trying to feel for the cards, 10, 11, and there it would be the ace of hearts. So since it is 11 cards down, you can do it that way if you like, almost as if you're feeling for what their card is. Or you could merely scoop up the cards, put a hand on top, get the psychic vibration, and now divine what their card is. It's a red card, it's a powerful card, it's an ace, the ace of hearts. That would be a great way to finish off the 21 card trick. A simple card divination with a mathematical principle of performing the mystery.